today. The dollar index, again, is getting ready to break through the 76 level. We're making new lows again today for the move in the dollar. Again, very little nervousness or worry in Washington or on Wall Street with respect to what's happening to the dollar. The dollar is going to lose a lot more value. And this is not a positive development. This is a big negative for every American citizen, every American who earns wages, every American who has savings. Everybody is going to lose.
Now back to the United States. The dollar has been tumbling against the world's major currencies after plans by the U.S. Federal Reserve to buy out Treasury bonds and mortgage securities. The $1 trillion needed for the plan is bringing the jitters to those dealing in dollars. And for more on this, I'm now joined live by our correspondent in New York, Marina Portnair. Marina, it seems the Obama administration hopes to kickstart the economy by simply printing money. I mean, it's just as the British government and others have decided to do.
That is right, and it's a very good observation. The Federal Reserve is once again stepping up efforts to save the U.S. economy, announcing that it will pump an extra $1 trillion into the U.S. financial system by purchasing Treasury bonds and mortgage securities. Now, the idea, of course, is to encourage economic activity by lowering interest rates, including those on home loans. While this may bring a short-term jolt, many critics say that printing money, vast amount of money, out of thin air will bring disastrous consequences. More specifically, hyperinflation and the plunge of the U.S. dollar. Many experts have gone on record saying that the U.S. monetary policy has passed the point of no return when it comes to printing money. So Americans eventually one day may have a stash of cash at home, but if you go to a store and bread costs $10, $20, what is your money really worth? And if anybody has any doubts over the severity of hyperinflation, look to Germany in the early 1920s. At that point, paper currency had lost so much value that people were literally burning it in furnaces to stay warm. The problem and severity of this situation cannot be underestimated. What people in Washington are thinking right now, no one knows.
Yes, you say what they're thinking now, but generally, what is the future for the dollar, just briefly?
Very good question, and you ask it at the right time. A panel of economic experts at the UN are scheduled to meet sometime next week, proposing that the world ditch the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency. Now, this panel of economic experts are instead expected to propose a shared basket of currency, and this means that the world, essentially the majority of the international community, is losing confidence in the strength and stability of the U.S. dollar. Now, according to reports, Russia is also planning to propose the creation of a new reserve currency to be issued by international financial institutions. This announcement is expected to be made next month at the April G20 summit meeting.
Okay, Marina, thanks very much indeed. That's our correspondent, Marina Portnair, reporting on the weakening U.S. currency.
There's going to be a major realignment of global living standards. You're going to see Americans consuming a lot less. Our lifestyles are going to be diminished dramatically. And other people are going to start to enjoy the purchasing power that we lost. I don't know how it's going to play out in Europe. I think the biggest beneficiaries of our loss of purchasing power are probably going to be in Asia. You know, there you're going to see the biggest increases in relative standards of living as they start consuming a lot more. I mean, right now, America, take an example, we consume 50% of the world's gasoline. Now, that means the rest of the world has to get by with the half that we don't consume. Well, when Americans are priced out of the market, when the dollar collapses and we can't afford to use up all that gasoline, that means there's more gasoline for everybody else. And, I think the countries that are the most, suppressing their own currencies in Asia, once, it's like holding a beach ball underneath the water. Once they take their hands away, it's going to shoot up, and you're going to see huge realignments upwards in these Asian currencies, and they're going to have much greater purchasing power, and they're going to, all of a sudden, a lot of people in China who are riding bicycles are going to find that now they can afford automobiles. Maybe they'll send some of those bicycles over here because we won't be able to drive our SUVs anymore.
Dollar just basically got crushed across the board. Against the Japanese yen, the dollar is at a 14-year low. The dollar is worth just 87 yen. As far as the other currencies are concerned, the euro closed at new highs, new 52-week highs, not a new record high, but a new high for the year. The euro's back above 151, closing in at 152. The Swiss franc closed above $1, I believe, for the first time ever. So this is the first time the Swiss franc has been worth more than $1. Now, when we first went off the gold standard in 1971, when Nixon closed the gold window, you could buy a Swiss franc for just 23 cents. The currency now has appreciated more than fourfold against the U.S. dollar since we severed the dollar's link from gold. And, of course, this isn't the end. One of the commentators actually said, or several commentators actually, when is it going to be too much of a good thing? When is the dollar going down, if it keeps going down, going to stop being a good thing? Well, it's never been a good thing. It's always a bad thing. When your currency goes down, you get poorer. The commentators talking about the orderly decline of the dollar, and they keep saying that, well, the dollar going down is okay as long as it's orderly. Well, I mean, there's nothing okay about losing your money in an orderly fashion. You still lose your money. If you don't want to lose your money, you've got to get out of the dollar. But as more people start to understand that this orderly dollar decline is going to go on for years and the dollar is going to lose a lot of money, all of a sudden it's not going to be orderly anymore because there will be a rush to get rid of the dollar.
The purpose of this movie is not to scare you, but to inform you. Our website, inflationnation.net, is a website dedicated to helping Americans learn more about inflation and how to prepare for the inflationary times ahead. We also support fiscally responsible candidates like Peter Schiff, Ron Paul, and Rand Paul. Regular citizens can protect themselves against inflation, first and foremost by informing themselves through websites like inflationnation.net. Through our website, you can access all of our articles, blog posts, recent economic news updates, and an online message board community where you can discuss topics such as buying and selling silver and gold, investing abroad, and stocking up on food and non-perishable items. To subscribe for updates, go to our website at inflation-nation.net and sign up for our newsletter. You can also sign up to receive our daily news digest. Don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get updates on our latest videos and documentaries.